Hello and welcome to week 6. First of all, teaching doesn't have me like this right now, but this cough and stuff that I have now had the entire semester definitely do. So I apologize ahead of time if I start coughing or if my voice is especially scratchy today. I've been trying to get it fixed, but nothing seems to be working. So this week we're going to focus on implementing and sustaining trauma-sensitive schools. Next, we have a visual that talks about education equity should be equality, equity, justice. So equality is everybody gets the same thing. Everybody benefits from the same supports, and that is equal treatment. As you can see in the image, the person on the far right does not benefit. Now, equity is everybody getting the supports that they need to be successful. This is often what the push is for, is that we don't want equality, we want equity. However, if we take it a step further and go to justice, you can see they changed the fence and now everybody can see the game without supports / accommodations because the cause of the inequality was addressed. That is obviously the end goal, but most, if not, I'm just going to say most schools aren't quite, school system isn't ready to be justice, but we should keep pushing towards equity. Once we get to equity, we can push for justice. I will quick link this. If this video does not play for you, the YouTube link is right here. This week is week 6. Only one more full learning week left. This week is your last week of reading. Got one video and then 3 articles to read. Your discussion board prompts are equity in action and affirmations, aggressions, and invalidations. This second one usually gets to be very interesting. I highly recommend going back and reading all of the everybody's responses after Thursday and all of the responses that people put up by Saturday, because this is usually one of the best discussion boards of the entire course. And then assignment 3. This is to create a visual model of a trauma-sensitive and resiliency-enhancing school. So the purpose is to design a visual model, and I literally mean to design a visual model. Think of a poster that would be put up in a school or a flyer that's going to get sent home to all parents to really demonstrate the plan of action to help students feel safe, connected, self-regulate their behavior, and achieve academic success. To complete the assignment, please do this. Design a visual model. So don't take one from somebody else. You can use clip art or, visual parts of your thing. Visual model could be from other people. Make sure that you give them credit. So cite it somehow. And then you're going to have a title to identify it as preschool, elementary, middle school, or high school, or something else if you serve another organization. Be a visual representation of both trauma-sensitive and resilience-enhancing components. Identify a plan of action to help all students, 1, feel safe, 2, connected to school culture, 3, self-regulate behavior, and 4, achieve academic success. Like I mentioned earlier, it should be an original design, so not copied from something that already exists, and should be aesthetically engaging. I'm not asking you all to go out and be design majors, but do your best. I'm not a design major. I would very much struggle with this assignment, but do your best. I'm not going to be grading you on how good your art is. If you don't want to write the paper on this, you can instead present it through some type of visual presentation that has an audio and a visual component. Utilize the same content that you would have written in the paper, and that presentation should be 8 to 10 minutes in length. Note, if you do that, you don't need to read through the cover page or the reference page. They just need to be there and give like a 20 to 30 second pause on them so that they can be read. So your first discussion board, like I said, is equity. You're going to review review Dr. Berger's interview with Kristen Craig, who is the equity coordinator at Minneapolis Public Schools at the time of this interview. Refer to the trauma-informed school utilized in your case study assignment. Then post your response to the following. Compare and contrast Ms. Craig's shared information with that of the case study. What are the similarities of addressing equity and that of the case study site? Is there anything Ms. Craig addresses that would be helpful for the case study that you chose to apply? What information from Ms. Craig's dialogue resonates most with you and why? What else do you want to share in this post about the topic of equity in schools as it relates to trauma and student mental health? Prompt 2, you're going to pick one of those 3: micro affirmations, microaggressions, and micro invalidations. Research the topic on your own and provide a definition of the topic. Make sure you include some citations. This is a place where you may have more than one. How does knowledge and understanding of the topic apply to implementing and sustaining trauma-informed sensitive schools? All right, my thoughts. So I was looking back at your assignments, the assignments from the other course, and some of the templates that have been shared out, including my own. And I decided it's probably best just to show you guys how to get it set up so that your running header and your page numbers start on the first page of writing and not on the title page. So we're going to do that quick. So first of all, we need to click into the header. And we want to click on the header and footer toolbar. This is just in Word. So if you're using Google Docs, I can't help you very much. But in Word, you're going to click different first page. We're also going to get rid of that. So that means that on the second page here, I don't know why this is a text box and not a page number. We're going to get rid of that. Then we're going to insert a page number on the right side. Now notice it says 2. We want it to say 1. There is no 1. So what you're going to do is format it and just have it start at 0. So we got nothing up there and a 1 there. That is perfect. Now click back into your header and we're going to left align. Nope. Come on. There we go. Click away from the page number first. Left align, and here you just put whatever your paper title is. So when I click out of this, you can see nothing shows up on the title page, but we got our running head, which is just the paper title, page number, and those continue throughout the rest of the paper. If you want a copy of this, please email me and I can send it out. Otherwise, I think you can make it yourself. And if you save this template as just template for Concordia, this is the only thing that you have to change for each paper. And then the assignment due date. Well, you'll have to change the professor every course, but the rest of the template should stay with you. All right, that was that. No, don't save. I have another copy of it. All right. Also, something I noticed is that there was quite a few posts without citations throughout both courses. So just note that all discussion board posts, except for responses to the instructors, initial responses, should have a citation unless the prompt explicitly states they are not required. In most courses, that only happens in the first couple of weeks, and then everything else requires citations. Then a quick sneak peek at the final assignment. Stakeholder engagement in trauma-informed schools. You are going to pick one of these 8 roles. And you are going to develop a plan to support and train one of them to support them in their agency as a member of a trauma-informed school community. This is 5 to 7 pages of writing using sources, in-text citations, headings, all of the fun APA stuff. You could also, should also, include charts and graphs or any other type of visual to support the writing. You're going to describe a positive behavioral support approach to stakeholder collaboration and engagement in a successful trauma-informed school. You're going to determine the educational role to focus on, one of those 8. You're going to describe that role in terms of what you know about them and why they are instrumental to the success of a trauma-informed schools. One thing about this that I don't love, it's not necessarily what you know about them, but what the research says about them as well. Consider and speak to the following. What does success look like in engaging this group? So, for example, what does it look like if we're successful in engaging families? What do you want the role? So I'm going to just use families. What do you want families to know, believe, and practice about trauma-informed schools? In order to support success, identify at least 2 well-defined SMART goals for the role. If you don't know what SMART goals are, do a Google search or find an article about them. They are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and they have a time frame. So they aren't open-ended forever, they have an end date. When creating a plan for how to engage, think about differentiation. As in a classroom, education roles have different needs and ways of engaging. I apologize for the horrible spelling and the errors in this assignment. These are all copied from a single course out to every teacher, and this one has a lot of issues. Depending on who the group is and what their engagement goals are, identifies things such as, how do you communicate with them? How will you involve the group in designing what growth and success should look like instead of just informing them what's going to happen? How might stakeholders interact and collaborate with the other stakeholders? So in my example, how would families interact with the other 7? How will you know when a successful outcome has been achieved? Speak specifically to the program essential question in your writing. And that is, in light of what is known about how children learn, how shall professional educators best promote resilience and recovery for the children and families who have experienced traumatic events? And as always, a deep dive is best here. Don't do cursory overviews of these topics. But that isn't due until Monday the 23rd. I know previously I said it was Saturday. I did some extra double checking because people asked. If you turn it in Saturday the 21st, I'm gonna be very happy about that because that gives me some extra time to grade. But it's due Monday of week 8, which is the 23rd. The course ends on the 25th. And you won't have any discussion boards that last week. So really, this is the last thing you will do. So yeah, even right here, this is wrong. It's not due Saturday of week 7. It's due Monday of week 8. And make sure to take some time to just be aware of yourself. As always, self-care is very important. So I look forward to reading your assignment 3s, and I will get to work grading this week's work here later today, hopefully. Have a great week.